Hello friends, this week's contemplative video will be furthering our thesis of trying to determine where the real mystics are that we can research or study. And in doing so, we're applying a comparative religions model. And our question today is, we've found that the authentic mystics were no doubt rigorous contemplatives. This would suggest that we should look at contemplative movements and religious organizations to find our mystics today to study. But what we find instead is in most meditation organizations and contemplative movements is they do one of two things with the charismatic phenomena that arises in meditation. They either reject that it happens at all, or they've made it so fantastic that no mere mortal can experience it, only the original Buddha or Krishna or Jesus, whatever, or some great mystic, but of course not the everyday individual, you and me. And so what we see instead in contemplative movements is they generally emphasize peace, peace of mind, relaxation, avoidance of stress. And we'll also notice, by the way, in contemporary contemplative movements, most of them recommend practicing meditation in sessions that are no more than 20 minutes long. Now, what we found in personal experience and in studying contemporary mystics today is the people who are experiencing the religious experience while they're meditating is they typically are meditating an hour per session. They're typically meditating at least once a day, if not 2 or 3 times a day. And the more time they invest in those meditation sessions, the more intense their religious experiences. Whereas we look at contemplative movements today, few of them understand these religious experiences. Most of the contemplatives who have them are either marginalized in that contemplative movement, or they're told that they are demon-possessed and they need to be depossessed, something like that. In fact, every one of my subjects, and there's several hundred of them, not one of them was recognized as somebody who was having a positive meditation experience by any of their meditation experiences. None of their Buddhist priests or Catholic priests or Christian priests recognized their meditation experiences as valid. In most cases, the meditation teacher or minister, priest, or rabbi suggested that they attempt to avoid those experiences. They tended to express a great deal of fear around the experience and generally discourage the individual. And it wasn't until I came along and I started describing these things, they went, oh, gee whiz, I'm having these experiences also. And my meditation teacher told me, just ignore that. In fact, every meditation teacher I had in the last 40 years also told me, just ignore all that stuff. And yet, when we study the literature of the mystics, we find the mystics like Teresa of Avila, John of the Cross, Rumi, Kabir, Patanjali, and Siddhartha Gautama describe these kinds of experiences. So we can conclude that yes, there are contemplative movements today, there are contemplative religious movements, but they tend to not understand the religious experience or the deep experiences of meditation, and generally discourage people from meditating deeply, but recommend a kind of superficial contemplative life. And so I call these, let's say, mainstream contemplative movements Stoic contemplative movements, meaning that they're without the sweetness of the ecstatic experience. So what we're finding in this hypothesis that we're building is that the genuine mystics are going to be few and far between, and they are generally not going to be recognized by any religious movement. So we need to be looking outside of the contemplative movements, outside of the religious movements, but we need to be looking for contemplatives who are rigorous. Rigorous meaning they're practicing meditation in hour-long sessions, and they're meditating at least once a day, if not 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. Okay, friends, thank you, and have an excellent contemplative week, and I hope you're having these religious experiences, and if you are, feel free to email me because I would like to collect your case history. Thank you very much.